What up, everybody? It's Dino.
And Megadrift.
We got here a special game here.
Yep, why'd you say it twice?
I don't know.
Technomancer, go.
Terraforming aborted hundreds of years ago and a murderous son to boot, the Red Planet isn't exactly a hospitable place, and every nook and cranny of the Forsaken Planet holds deadly, lurking threats. Many hybrid creatures roam the canyons of Mars. Originally bioengineered by the first settlers from the genetic makeup of animals found on Earth, they have since gotten loose, creating a budding ecosystem. The harsh living conditions led them to mutate along the centuries, developing effective defense mechanisms. Most of them are aggressive and territorial, downright deadly should you fight them unprepared. But the other human survivors can be just as dangerous. Ever since Mars got isolated from Earth, multiple factions have risen. The corporation Aurora and its rival Abundance, which you're a part of, are among the most powerful. More secretive factions exist, such as the underworld mobs who call themselves the Vori, the Merchants Guild of Noctis, and the less lucky mutants whose DNA degenerated after being exposed to solar radiations and who are now living as slaves and outcasts. You will be able to befriend those factions or antagonize them, depending on your actions and your choices throughout the story. Hopefully, you have all the tools to survive the harsh environment of Mars. Technomancer powers can cover a wide range of uses. You have access to damaging powers such as the most basic electric arc or the more advanced electric storm, but also support powers. The electric fist will help you control the pace of combat thanks to its superior stunning and disrupting ability. Electric weapon will imbue your current blade, mace or staff with deathly sparks, and magnetic shield will surround you with an intangible field, negating incoming damage for a time. All Technomancer powers are devastating in their own right, but you'll have to use them tactically as each use will cost you focus, a slow regenerating resource. Each of your powers are upgraded by spending points in the skill tree, but they also have access to 2 mutually exclusive upgrades, changing the way the power behaves. Your Technomancy powers complement your combat stance of choice. Combat with the staff, signature of a Technomancer. With a blade and gun, mark of the rogue. Or mace and shield, the weapons favoured by soldiers. The combat with the staff is based on mobility and area damage, using sweep moves and blows. Its wide attack can stagger multiple enemies at a time, and so this stance is most effective against big groups of enemies. Fighting with the blade and gun requires agility with careful dodging. The blade has a higher critical rate than other weapons and can poison enemies for additional damage over time. The nail gun lets you control the pace of the combat by interrupting enemies from afar and land finishing blows at a safe range. Finally, the mace and shield combat stance focuses on defense. It is less mobile than other stances but allows you to block incoming attacks and gunshots. Parrying at the last second lets you stagger enemies and inflict deadly counterattacks. Just like for Technomancy, each of these 3 stances has its own skill tree, where you can gain new skills but also improve them using different upgrade paths. Whatever your stance of choice may be, your companions will help you in combat. They all have their own talents complementing your own. Tanks, ranged combat specialist, healer. In the midst of battle, you'll be able to assign them different behaviors to adapt depending on the current situation and what you want them to do, such as focusing on melee combat or keeping you alive. Upgrading your arsenal will be equally important. You will loot and buy better weapons and armor or receive them as a quest reward. Each has its own bonuses, and some of them also have crafting slots, allowing you to further improve their stats according to your preferences and playstyle. You'll be able to improve damage, resistance, as well as add various special effects such as disruption, resistance to specific damage types, energy regeneration, and more. However, brute force won't be the only tool at your disposal to overcome adversity. If you decide to select them, different talents will help you take alternative routes. The stealth talent will help you sneak around, taking down targets silently to weaken a group of enemies, or simply to pass through unnoticed. Traps and lockpicking allows you to set traps on the patrol route of enemies, but also often lets you access alternative routes by unlocking doors. The science and charisma talents will allow you to try and defuse tense situations before they explode, successfully averting a crisis without having to fight.
Tell you to get the hell out of Ophir and don't look back.
I don't
Sure. Yeah, sure. Bye, Lieutenant.
Survive the many dangers of Mars, and you will become the most powerful Technomancer master. Forge the Destiny of Mars, June 28th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
You wonder why Technomancers are degenerates? We are all inbreds. Not mentioning the fact that we are also used as war weapons. People here are naive, content, and perfectly happy. Maybe I am a little more outspoken than others. What can I say? You are lucky that you can leave your place of birth. How many have had such luck?
Don't let him get away! Make him bleed! Kill him!
You looking for trouble?
Life's what you make of it, and I want to make it an adventure. So if you're looking for some dangerous escapades, I know a girl.
Such is our world. They are pawns in a chess game played by imbeciles. Take care, Zachariah. Take care.
I think it's the song that sells me.
What is it? Rising Sun?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the cover too much.
You don't like the cover?
No, because they're missing the.
Yeah, yeah. But this one, it kind of that second thing pumps you up. What does that mean? The second thing kind of pumps you up for it. But I found that they made that first video, which was like probably the best video I've ever seen that tells you everything you basically need to know, and it's very detailed. And that's kind of what I liked the most with it, where it was like just how much you can customize your armor, your weapons, you know, your actual character's abilities, like that. And for a game that, for me, I just heard about it last month, kind of just popped up out of nowhere to me.
For you, it just popped out of nowhere?
Yeah, like I didn't know.
Oh,
about
I thought
it.
you'd been following this game for a while.
No, it was like last month when I saw it. I'm like, whoa, sold.
So, do you want me to say my initial reaction?
Yeah, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, graphically,
Yeah.
for a full game, like it looks very mediocre.
Which part? The fighting scene?
Everything, yeah.
Okay.
It looks like an indie game to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then again, looks aren't everything. Maybe the game is much more. I don't know. Like it makes up for other areas.
Yeah.
In comparison to, like, I don't know how big this game is, how open world it is.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how it works.
That's the thing. Like I'm about to find out. Like I want to know too, because I'm very particular, very picky on open world games. Like, if they're not a certain amount of time frame of like that whoa experience, that then I usually stop playing.
Well, my issue, man, and I always go back to this, is that if we can make a Mass Effect game look as good as you can make it, and as big as it is, like, dude, Mass Effect Andromeda, you know it's going to be kind of open world-ish or open planet-ish, however you want to call it. Now, granted, I don't know how much investment or people are going to be in it. Like, you know, games, they tend to have, like, they make up for other things, and that's how they delete here, they give here, that's how, they show their power. But if you can make a game like Mass Effect, okay, and make it look as good as it looks, why can't this game look as good as it looks? Like, where is the fidelity? Where did the fidelity go, and what did you make up for that? Did you not have enough time?
It's usually the engine.
I mean, okay, so why use that engine? You know what I mean? Like, these are just questions I'm posing. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Overall, the game looked like the look kind of reminded me of the Force Awakens look. Kind of looked like that. I don't know why.
I have to say this, for a new IP, it's a lot of information. Like it's a very detailed game for a new IP.
Yeah.
Because normally when you see stuff like that, they'll like kind of give you a little sample, but it's usually the second. If it does well, the second game has what everyone kind of wanted.
Well, and it also seemed like it's a very story driven. Very story driven game.
I'm wondering how linear. Choices. Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, there's definitely choices. I also found out that your party, like your companions, if you don't use some of the characters, they won't level up with you.
Weird.
So if you have a favorite person and then you switch it to someone else later in the game, they may be too weak to even be in your area and be pointless for you.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool because I remember in a lot of the games when it was that way, I would just spend like a half hour switching out my party, making sure everyone's all got their perks done, and so.
I like games like these.
I hope it's not too linear where once the story's done, you're kind of just done.
I get scared with these kind of games because it is a new IP.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, you have to support the developers somehow. The game looks interesting. The world looks very bland.
Oh, it's Mars.
Very general. Huh?
It's Mars. Oh, you don't know much about the world, do you?
No.
So, it's Mars, and it's life on Mars.
Yeah. Okay, I got that.
And,
I got that.
They lost contact with Earth, but like generations in the past. So the people that originally were there ended up making, I think they said it's gonna be 6 fractions. So there's 6 different groups now that are like kind of running Mars on their own, and there's a whole background story developing, but basically they made those alien looking things. Those are genetically modified animals that were let loose, and then they got to what you're seeing there. And then the mutants are genetically modified humans, and if you're a mutant, you're a slave on Mars. You have no rights. So that's kind of what the big issue is, and I know that's what the story has to deal with it too, is like a very controversy topic with like slavery and like what you are, and just a whole background of like you're trying to get communication back on Earth and find out what happened.
I wonder what the developer intended to deliver with this game. Like, what was the point of it? Why the location? Why the setting? Because the setting is going to be obviously very desert or barren. Why the color? Why? I mean, they could have chosen any place. They could have even made their own planet. You know what I mean? But they chose to do it this way. I wonder why. I wonder if it's just indicative of like the things that are happening now. You know, Mars is an important planet to us.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just asking because it looks interesting enough, but it's not getting my $60.
See, I didn't agree with 60 either. So I got it on Steam. It's not $30 on Steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, I felt okay with that price. That's like
more reasonable.
Bought it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You don't know this, but when this is going to be showing, I'm going to have the game already playing. So I'm playing. It got my interest, and once I saw it was cheaper on Steam and for the PC, I got it. I'm like, yep, we're playing this.
And the name also, Technomancer?
Yeah.
Not the greatest title.
A lot of confusion came with that title.
Yeah.
There's that name, that just Technomancer.
It just doesn't convey anything about what the game, like, if you could have called it, you know.
Well, I know that's the name of what they are, those people.
Yeah, but you could have named it something like.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what the gameplay is and see how the story is.
No.
But yeah, if you guys are playing it too, let me know. Are you gonna be the asshole of the story? Are you gonna be the Lord and Savior and get communication back to Earth? I know I'm still contemplating how I'm gonna play. I might be the jerk.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yep. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Technomancer.